Welcome back to this peaceful journey through brain health. As you continue to relax, we're going to explore something different now. Not foods, but habits. Daily practices that shape your brain, protect your mind, and influence your cognitive health throughout your life. These aren't complicated or difficult. They're simple, accessible actions that accumulate into profound benefits over time. Let's discover them together. Our first habit is perhaps the most powerful thing you can do for your brain. Sleep regularly and enough. Sleep is not wasted time. It's not downtime when your brain shuts off. Sleep is when your brain does some of its most important work. While you sleep, your brain is extraordinarily active, consolidating memories, processing emotions, clearing out toxins, and strengthening the connections between neurons. During deep sleep, your brain moves information from temporary storage into long-term memory. Everything you learn during the day gets reviewed, organized, and filed away. Without adequate sleep, this process is interrupted. Information remains fragile, easily forgotten, never fully integrated into your existing knowledge. Sleep also activates the brain's cleaning system. There's a network of channels called the glymphatic system that opens up during sleep and flushes out metabolic waste products that accumulate while you're awake. One of these waste products is beta amyloid, a protein that, when it builds up, is associated with Alzheimer's disease. Sleep literally cleans your brain. Most adults need 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night for optimal brain function. Some people need slightly more, some slightly less, but very few people can thrive on significantly less than 7 hours. When you're sleep deprived, even by just an hour or two, your cognitive performance declines measurably. Your attention wavers, your memory weakens, your decision-making becomes impaired. But it's not just about duration. Regularity matters too. Going to bed and waking up at roughly the same time every day, even on weekends, helps regulate your body's internal clock. This consistency improves sleep quality and makes it easier to fall asleep and wake up naturally. Your brain thrives on routine when it comes to sleep. It learns when to prepare for rest and when to become alert. Irregular sleep schedules confuse this system, making sleep less restorative even when you get enough hours. Creating good sleep habits starts with prioritizing sleep as essential, not optional. It means setting a bedtime and protecting it, dimming lights in the evening to signal to your brain that rest is coming, and creating a bedroom environment that's cool, dark, and quiet. These simple practices support the natural processes that keep your brain healthy and sharp throughout your life. Our second habit might seem unrelated to brain health at first, but the connection is profound and well established. Stay physically active. When you exercise, you're not just training your muscles. You're training your brain. Physical activity increases blood flow to the brain, delivering more oxygen and nutrients. It stimulates the release of growth factors, chemicals that support the health of brain cells and promote the growth of new neurons. Yes, new neurons. For a long time, scientists believed that you were born with all the brain cells you'd ever have, and that they only declined with age. But research has shown that certain areas of the brain, particularly the hippocampus, which is crucial for memory, continue producing new neurons throughout life. And one of the most powerful ways to stimulate this neurogenesis is through regular physical activity. Exercise also increases the size of the hippocampus. Studies have shown that people who exercise regularly have larger hippocampi than sedentary people of the same age. This translates directly into better memory and learning ability. The benefits extend beyond memory. Physical activity improves executive function, your ability to plan, focus, manage time, and juggle multiple tasks. It enhances processing speed, how quickly you can take in information and respond to it. It boosts mood by increasing endorphins and other neurotransmitters that create feelings of well-being. You don't need to become an athlete. Moderate exercise is sufficient and sustainable. A brisk 30-minute walk most days of the week provides significant brain benefits. Dancing, swimming, cycling, gardening, even vigorous housework counts. The key is movement that elevates your heart rate and gets your blood flowing. What's particularly encouraging is that it's never too late to start. Even people who begin exercising later in life show improvements in cognitive function. The brain remains remarkably responsive to physical activity throughout the lifespan. Regular movement also helps protect against cognitive decline as you age. Studies consistently show that physically active people have lower rates of dementia and Alzheimer's disease. Exercise seems to build what researchers call cognitive reserve, a buffer that helps your brain continue functioning well even if it experiences age-related changes. The beautiful thing is that exercise benefits both body and mind simultaneously. When you take care of your physical health, your mental health improves as a natural consequence. They're not separate systems but deeply interconnected parts of who you are. Our third habit taps into something fundamental about how brains work. Keep learning new things. Your brain is designed to learn. It's not a fixed structure but a dynamic, constantly changing organ that reshapes itself based on your experiences. Every time you learn something new, you create new connections between neurons. Every time you practice a skill, you strengthen those connections. This process, called neuroplasticity, continues throughout your entire life. But here's the key. Your brain needs novelty and challenge to stay sharp. Doing the same things day after day, no matter how complex they once were, eventually becomes automatic. Your brain goes on autopilot. The neural pathways are established and no new growth is required. When you learn something genuinely new, something that requires attention and effort, you wake your brain up. You force it to create new pathways, to adapt, to grow. This keeps your brain flexible and resilient. The learning can be anything. A new language, a musical instrument, a craft or art form, a sport or physical skill, a subject you've always been curious about. The content matters less than the process. What's important is that it's genuinely new to you and requires real mental effort. Learning a language is particularly powerful because it involves multiple cognitive systems at once. Memory, attention, pattern recognition, sound processing, all working together. Studies show that bilingual people often maintain cognitive function longer as they age, possibly because constantly switching between languages exercises the brain. Learning to play a musical instrument combines motor skills with auditory processing and reading, creating rich neural connections across multiple brain regions. Musicians often show enhanced cognitive abilities, better memory, and greater brain plasticity compared to non-musicians. But even simpler learning activities provide benefits. Reading books on unfamiliar topics, taking classes, watching educational content, solving puzzles, learning to cook new cuisines. Each of these activities stimulates your brain and promotes continued growth. The concept of cognitive reserve applies here too. The more you've learned throughout your life, the more neural connections you've built, the more resilient your brain becomes. People with higher levels of education and continued learning show better cognitive function in old age and greater resistance to the effects of brain diseases. Make learning a lifelong habit. Stay curious. Try new things. Don't worry about mastering everything. The process of learning, the struggle to understand and improve, that's what builds and maintains a healthy, vibrant brain. Our fourth habit brings us back to something we explored in detail earlier, but it deserves emphasis here. Eat a balanced, nutrient-rich diet. Your brain is an energy-intensive organ. Despite being only about 2% of your body weight, it consumes roughly 20% of your daily calories. It needs constant fuel, and the quality of that fuel directly affects how well it functions. A balanced diet provides all the nutrients your brain needs to build and maintain its structures, produce neurotransmitters, protect cells from damage, and generate energy efficiently. When any of these nutrients are lacking, brain function suffers. We've talked about specific brain foods, fatty fish, blueberries, nuts, leafy greens, eggs, and others. But the broader principle is variety. No single food contains everything your brain needs. A diverse diet, rich in different vegetables, fruits, whole grains, healthy fats, and quality proteins, ensures you get the full spectrum of nutrients. The Mediterranean diet is often highlighted in brain health research. It emphasizes vegetables, fruits, whole grains, olive oil, fish, and moderate amounts of wine. Studies consistently show that people who follow this pattern have better cognitive function and lower rates of cognitive decline. But many traditional diets around the world share similar principles. Whole foods, plenty of plants, healthy fats, minimal processing. What you avoid matters too. Diets high in processed foods, added sugars, and unhealthy fats have been linked to worse cognitive outcomes. These foods can promote inflammation, interfere with blood sugar regulation, and fail to provide the nutrients your brain needs. Blood sugar stability is particularly important. Your brain runs on glucose, but it needs a steady supply, not spikes and crashes. Eating regular meals with a balance of complex carbohydrates, protein, and healthy fats helps maintain stable blood sugar and consistent mental energy throughout the day. Hydration is also crucial. Your brain is about 75% water, and even mild dehydration can impair concentration, memory, and mood. Drinking enough water throughout the day is a simple but important way to support brain function. The gut-brain connection is another emerging area of research. Your gut microbiome, the trillions of bacteria living in your digestive system, communicates with your brain and influences mood, cognition, and behavior. A diet rich in fiber from vegetables, fruits, and whole grains supports a healthy microbiome, which in turn supports brain health. Eating well for your brain doesn't require perfection or rigid rules. It's about overall patterns, making good choices most of the time, and enjoying a variety of whole, nourishing foods that support both body and mind. Our fifth and final habit addresses something that affects nearly everyone in modern life. Reduce and manage stress. A little bit of stress is normal, even beneficial. It sharpens your focus, motivates action, and helps you perform at your best in challenging situations. But chronic stress, the kind that persists day after day without relief, is toxic to the brain. When you're stressed, your body releases cortisol, a hormone that helps you respond to threats. In the short term, cortisol is helpful. But when stress becomes chronic, cortisol levels remain elevated for too long, and this has damaging effects on the brain. High cortisol levels can shrink the hippocampus, that crucial memory center we've discussed. It can interfere with the formation of new neurons. It can weaken the connections between existing neurons. Over time, chronic stress impairs memory, reduces cognitive flexibility, and increases the risk of depression and anxiety. Stress also affects sleep, often creating a vicious cycle. Stress makes it harder to fall asleep and reduces sleep quality. Poor sleep makes you more vulnerable to stress. Breaking this cycle requires intentional stress management. There are many effective ways to manage stress. Meditation and mindfulness practices have been shown to reduce cortisol levels and actually change brain structure in positive ways. Regular practitioners show increased gray matter in areas involved in emotional regulation and decreased activity in the amygdala, the brain's fear center. Physical activity, which we've already discussed, is also a powerful stress reducer. Exercise metabolizes stress hormones and releases endorphins that improve mood. Even a short walk can shift your mental state significantly. Social connection is another crucial buffer against stress. Spending time with people you care about, having meaningful conversations, feeling supported and understood, all of these reduce stress and promote well-being. Loneliness and social isolation, by contrast, are significant stressors that negatively impact both mental and physical health. Simple practices like deep breathing activate your parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest system that counteracts the stress response. Just a few minutes of slow, deep breathing can lower cortisol levels and calm your mind. Time in nature has also been shown to reduce stress. Natural environments seem to have a restorative effect on the brain, reducing mental fatigue and promoting a sense of peace. Even looking at images of nature can have a mild calming effect. The goal isn't to eliminate stress entirely, which would be impossible. The goal is to manage it effectively, to have practices and habits that help you recover from stressful periods and prevent stress from becoming chronic and overwhelming. Your brain thrives when you can move between challenge and rest, activity and recovery, stress and relaxation in a healthy rhythm. And so we've explored 5 habits that protect and nourish your brain. Regular sleep, physical activity, continuous learning, balanced nutrition, and stress management. None of these are complicated or require special equipment or expertise. They're simple, accessible practices that anyone can incorporate into daily life. Together, these habits create an environment where your brain can thrive, where neurons can grow, where memories can form, where thinking remains sharp and clear throughout your life. Let these ideas settle peacefully in your mind as you drift deeper into rest, knowing that small, consistent actions accumulate into profound benefits over time. Thanks for watching this video. See you next time.